Hi, I'm Mustafa and I'm the founder and managing director of Creative Frontiers and CFx Comics.
And what do you do here at CFx Comics?
What do we do here? Well, we create amazing artwork, brilliant content, and stuff that really inspires.
Okay. What is your formal education? Where did you start?
I'm unlike a lot of my friends over here. I'm not really an artist or a creative. My formal education is more in the business side of media. So, and that is why you don't see me behind those beautiful screens over there, and see me more behind the spreadsheet. But I studied media communication from School of Economics, and I've been working in this sector in the creative sector for about 7 years. Actually, 9 years now. I worked in the UK, which I got landed over in 3M. I set up my own company over there and provide creative services. Then I moved back to Pakistan and set up the Creative Village, which was Pakistan's first media technology park, media school of creative arts, and a production facility, all within one. I ran that for about 4 years until myself and Yaya decided to come and launch this very innovative boutique little company focused on providing really quality media solutions to the industry. And from there we pivoted to content, because content is something that both I'm very passionate about, Yaya is very passionate about, my partner Bohar is very passionate about. So, we really felt that in Pakistan right now, we really need quality content in different sort of media. We have very few forms of media that are out there. And we really want stuff that kids consume beyond just looking at a television screen. So, things that they can read, things that they can educate themselves on, things that they can enjoy beyond just having to sit in front of a TV for hours on end and just consuming video content. So that is where the inception of our genesis of the company came from, and which is why we are working on comic books, we're working on children's books, so we're really working on content that kids of all ages, from a 5-year-old all the way up to a 20-year-old can enjoy. I think it's something that's really needed for educationists to be involved in content, because otherwise we continue to give our kids entertainment content or that is shortly written and educational content that is from 20 years ago. So that's really good, and for me the inspiration really was for comic books, and for this as a medium was that in Pakistan. My inspiration actually came from this little building right next door.
And what is that?
That's a school for kids. It's the Beaconsfield High School. It's a school really not for rich kids. And a lot of the kids who study over there are kids from more underprivileged backgrounds. Now one day, my mother actually, who donates a lot of books over there and everything, asked me to bring about all my books from when I was a kid over to that school and give it out to those kids. Anyway, I packed up all my books and we went over there, and we were giving out, as we were giving out books, I had 3 comic books. So 3 of the kids got those 3 comic books. There were about at least 30 kids over there. So, within the span of 10 minutes, all of those kids, about 30 kids, gravitated all around those 3 kids. One of them had a Batman comic, and they had never seen Batman before. But they were opening it up, and they were really excited, and they were making up their own stories with the visuals as they were going on. And when all of them were sitting together with those 3 kids, they were really excited that what's going on, what happens next, flip the page. And that, for me, that was something really inspiring, because I could see the appeal of the medium straight away. And I could still see the immediate appeal of the medium. And it was all the more exciting because, here was a written medium that kids could be so excited about. And that's where the inspiration for comic books really came from. We think of comic books whenever we think of comic books in Pakistan, and unfortunately a very small affluent community thinks of comic books, you always think of it with a very Western connotation. But if you think about it from our perspective, we are a very visual culture. We've got a lot of art, culture, and history embedded, within us. And for us, this is an ideal medium to convey ideas. Comic books are actually a very viable business case as well, which is why there is potential in this industry, which is why, beyond just hobbyists, I would actually propose that this industry become the serious industry that it will eventually become. And that the creators and people who are participants in this actually start looking at it from that perspective. And business is not a slur word, it's not a bad word, it's actually a very positive thing. It inspires growth and makes things sustainable. And that's what we are focused on. And which is why we have actually created all the tools and technologies. You've probably already heard of our app. So the app is a beautiful piece of technology that our team has created, our tech team has created. We have a really awesome tech team as well, along with our creative team. And what the app is really aiming to do is to provide really a barrier-free entry into the world of publishing. Because what I realized very quickly on, me and my partners, we realized very quickly on that the biggest hurdle right now for good content creators to come is that there aren't really great publishing platforms available. And publishing is so badly done in Pakistan, unfortunately. Which is why you don't really see a lot of content out there. Most of the content that you see that is published is either pirated or taken images or text taken from the internet. Really low quality material because
they're infringing on the rights of like foreign artists and their copyrights and not producing original content.
Exactly. The thing is that when you don't value when you don't value content and when you don't put a price to the creation of content, or when you say and the price of creation of content is actually cheaper than the price of printing that piece of content, there is a problem. Because at the end of the day, the most valuable part of it is not that it's printed on a very good piece of paper. It is the story that you're telling, it is the artwork that you're creating. And for us, that's really important. For us, we want to be content first publishing sector. Okay? And that is the thing that we want to, that is where we want to facilitate content creators as well. We want to give them a platform, a toolkit by which they can actually stop worrying about publishing. They can actually take that out of their mind and actually focus on creating the most valuable thing.
And especially copyrights.
Yeah, and exactly. And they don't create, we've got an abundance of talent over here. Pakistan is not lacking talent. Pakistan has amazing writers. Pakistan has amazing artists. There is really no reason. The only hurdle is that you don't really give those artists, those creators an incentive to actually sit down and create content.
Okay. On a last question, what do you want to give a message to the next generation, or especially you have partnered with Comic-Con PK and the Pakistan Cartoon Channel Initiative. Do you have some kind of message to the financiers or the sponsors who want to invest in this? Do you think it's an idea that should be invested?
Sure.
One. And secondly, how fast do you think it should be invested on?
Sure. You asked some really important questions. Anything that allows for this industry to grow, this industry to actually find its feet, is something that is to be done. Anything that gets artists, creators content exposure versus the publisher's exposure is something that is definitely to be done. So I feel that this initiative is really good. What this initiative will do is not only sustain these sort of ideas and maybe even bring out, take hobbies, comic creators to form up real companies and actually make this into a vibrant business, which will actually provide employment and the benefits of all of that, but also really help grow human resource within this country, skilled and qualified human resource, something that for which we have institutions, for which we have the root infrastructure, but aren't able to capitalize on the upper end, aren't able to capitalize when it comes to jobs, when it comes to opportunities, when it comes to employment. So I guess that is an incredibly important thing. That's something that an endeavor like this can do. More of it is needed. and more support of it is needed.
From the financial sector as
from
well?
all sectors, from the financial sectors, from the distribution sectors, from the publishing sectors, from every sector. I think we need to look beyond our small interests and actually look at the bigger picture, look at the greater game, and see that if for 10 years if we are investing in building up a new industry, in a plausible industry like this, then 10 years later we can really reap the rewards. And if we keep on doing what we're doing right now, if we keep on pirating content, if we keep on not giving value to the content creators, we are not really doing anybody a service. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay. Any last message like Pakistan Zindabad or something like that?
Thank you so much for the stuff that you're doing, and I hope that by people who are looking at this, people are looking at the work that you guys are doing and the work that everybody, all the people who are involved in this project are doing. More people can be inspired, and more people can come into this industry and actually create awesome content that I would want to read. And I hope that 10 years down the line or 5 years down the line, whenever I go to a store, I see a massive section, a bookstore I go to, I see a massive section of comics made by Pakistanis that are available all over the world. And that is my dream for the Pakistani comic creators. And inshallah, we will achieve it. Pakistan Zindabad.